Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola and his fellow ranters as they sound off on the latest movies, TV, and the world of entertainment. Now, here are your ranters for the hour, Marco, Mila, Larry, and Bruno.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola, and joined by me tonight is one of our other ranters. Don't listen to the intro. It is Larry. Welcome back, Larry.
Hey.
We missed you, brother. We missed you.
Thanks, bud.
You listened to the last podcast of Mandalorian. You know.
Yes.
You know we missed you.
Yes.
Love
the shout-outs.
We love the shout-outs. Fuck you! Yes.
Bruno's
100% on the breath.
Bruno's interpretation of the
the disappointing sigh. The disappointing sigh was awesome. So tonight we are going to continue our April Fool's month with another wonderful spoof movie by Mel Brooks, Men in Tights.
Woo!
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies. We were talking this online. There's just no good way to say we're doing Men in Tights tonight.
Yeah.
There's just no good way to say that without it sounding weird.
We're recording Men in Tights. No, that doesn't sound
right either.
We're doing Men in Tights. No, that doesn't
sound right either.
We're going to talk about Men in Tights?
Let's talk about them. Let's talk about. So this is from 93. Rated PG-13. It's about an hour and 44 minutes long.
Yeah, quick watch.
It's a spoof of Robin Hood in general, but Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
Right, the 91 with No. Wow. Kevin Costner.
Yeah. There we go.
That was a rough one. Great cast. Carrie Elwes obviously stars as Robin Hood. Richard Lewis is Prince John. Roger Reese, Sheriff of Nottingham, if you remember him from Cheers fame, right? Yeah. Amy Asbeck, who plays Marion, John Ritter's wife.
Oh, she's also in Wings. That's your stuff.
That's right. Yep, she was Wings. She was John Ritter's wife until he passed away, obviously. Oh. But we have a young Dave Chappelle.
Yep, super young Dave Chappelle.
Yep. Mark Blankenfield plays Blinken. I mean, Isaac Hayes.
I was waiting to guess this. Isaac Hayes
plays a sneeze, father of Achu.
Yeah.
Megan Kavanaugh. I mean, it's just a who's who. It's a really great cast. Tracy Ullman plays Latrine. You know, just great. you got a Dom DeLuise cameo in there. Dick Van Patten cameo. Patrick Stewart cameo.
Yeah.
It just goes on. Obviously, Mel Brooks is in it, which we'll get to that. It's a Mel Brooks movie, right? You're getting the best of the best. He knows how to pull in all the cast.
Yep. Everybody wants to do movies for him and with him. So
yes, yeah, and I think so. Let's get into we'll get into the movie and what happens and the story and how it spoofs the other movies. But I want to talk just Mel Brooks for a second. The movies themselves, to me, Men in Tights was kind of the last of the height of Mel Brooks. After that, it was kind of like, the Dracula one didn't do that well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A couple after that just didn't really punch and hit as much as Spaceballs and then
I think
Men in Tights.
Kind of humor, the kind of spoof horror, that spoof humor, I think was at its tail end. And it was using a lot of people that people didn't know. At that point, right?
Dick Van Patten and things like that.
Yeah, people don't know who...
I mean, they knew who, obviously, Patrick Stewart was, but even Dom DeLuise at that point,
right,
mid-90s, is not in the height of, Cannonball Run movies.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of the people that they use at that point, it's people kind of known, but they're not holding anybody's interest.
Yeah, right? They're kind of people back in Mel Brooks' day, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
not
you're
so
right.
much to our
because, I mean, the spoof movies do go on. We talked about with the scary movies.
Yeah.
Some of those other ones. So the spoof movie itself, the spoof genre still carries on.
Yeah.
But I think just with the Mel Brooks movies, it doesn't because he's using people that a lot of people that are coming up, they don't know who those older guys are.
Not at that point, no.
And they don't use maybe some of the...
If it was in the 80s, you would have known who Dom DeLuise was.
Right. And they also use references and then that people may not know at that point anymore. They're like, I don't get it. I don't get it when he says, hey, man, I laughed my ass off.
Right.
I know that, I know that shtick. Somebody younger than me may not. It's an Abbott Costello, right?
But again, what young person in the 90s who's watching this movie knows Abbott and Costello? Yeah, unless you're a die-hard comedy enthusiast and somebody who goes back and researches and watches old stuff, black and white. You know what I movies. But I mean,
okay, right? That. But even with the Abbott and Costello, right? There's people that might know, what the Who's on First is.
Yeah.
But they may not be able to tell you who did it.
Right.
Like they know the reference, they know the Who's on First. They probably don't know the rest of that.
Yep.
They also don't know who did it maybe.
Yeah.
So again, the spoof movie genre still carries on. But I think with the whole Mel Brooks thing,
even with the scene where the Godfather scene.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I will take this from you with my hand. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
He's got a mouthful of
mouthful of cotton balls because that's how.
He's a dentist.
That's how. Stella, help, Marlon Brando.
There
wow,
you go. That's okay. I started today too. It's late. It's after classes.
Yeah. So I mean that's how Marlon Brando got the thing. He had the cotton balls. So he's like, I kind of like this. So it was a throw in for that.
Yeah.
And the Dirty Ezio cracked me up.
Yeah, right. The Clint Eastwood reference. I mean, again, but even in the '90s, you might get a Clint Eastwood reference, but I can't say that even
Clint Eastwood's old.
At that point, and I knew who he was, but I hadn't watched a lot of Clint Eastwood. At this point, what did I say? 90 what?
93.
93. So it was a year up before I graduated high school. You know what I mean? It really wasn't. I graduated in 94.
What was the movie that he did? Crossing the Line. Where he was the he was a Secret Service for the president. Malkovich was in it as well. Malkovich was the assassin.
Good old John Malkovich. You don't see a ton from him, although he is doing stuff these days, but you don't see a lot.
Oh, he's sneaky. He's sneaky quiet too.
Yeah.
Still lives in Cambridge, by the way.
Does he still live in Cambridge?
Absolutely.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he still lives in Cambridge, and like his neighbors know who he is, and they just keep quiet. Like they don't. Nobody really bothers. I don't want to say he's a recluse, but everybody respects the fact that he doesn't want to. He doesn't want people knocking on his door or nothing like that. And,
right.
Because I know someone who actually did a job right next door to his house.
Oh wow!
And he happened to be outside, and the guy that I know, he was outside getting stuff from his truck, and John Malkovich comes out and he kind of like looks at him. And he's like, "What the hell?" John Malkovich goes back in the house. He comes back, he's outside, he's working on it. He goes, "Was that?" And the guy that owns the house, he was like, "Yeah, that's John Malkovich." He was like, "Wait, what the?" He was like, "Yeah, he still owns that house. He still comes back here every once in a while when he's not filming or doing some sort of engagement."
Right.
And everybody knows, but we all just kind of
leave him alone.
Leave him alone because that's his house.
Just another person, yeah.
Is it Thin Red Line? Maybe. I'm trying.
In the Line of Fire.
In the Line of Fire. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I mean, and he was older than that,
he's done a bunch of, don't get me wrong, he has done a bunch of stuff in the 90s and the 2000s. He, Space Cowboys and $1 Million Baby, Gran Torino, a lot of great stuff, plus directing. Don't get me wrong, but it was obviously not the height of when he was Clint Eastwood.
Right, and I think that, that was
the reference. It wasn't Gran Torino reference.
Right, it was the Dirty Harry reference.
References. The
the good, bad, the ugly.
70s and 80s.
Yeah, like the early stuff.
Yeah. So, the Pale Rider, that's 85, but, most of that's Sudden Impact. Most of that stuff is, late 70s, early 80s, any which way you can. So, don't get me wrong, great stuff. A lot of great references, but some, like you said, a little outdated. I like the Patriot missile. The Arrow.
So funny.
That was really good. That was topical at that point.
Yes, it was very topical
at that point.
Very, very topical.
Controversial and topical at that point. So yeah, absolutely. So that worked out well. So you start the movie. You start the movie with Robin Hood basically is captured, right?
Well, let's before that, the credits.
Okay.
So you see that? So I thought it was hilarious because it's super dramatic, over the top. It's the five guys and they're shooting the flaming arrows, and the flaming arrows goes onto the screen, and it goes into the starring this person and from this person, and that goes on for like a couple of good minutes.
Yeah.
And I even wrote that, I was like, wow, it's kind of like over dramatic, just to find out that those guys, they're actually setting the village on fire
while doing this. Yeah,
that had me rolling.
Right,
and that lets you know.
Fuck you, Mel Brooks.
Right,
every time they do a Robin Hood movie, they burn our village down.
And it's like, it was right out the gate. It's letting you know It's a spoof movie.
Yeah.
This is a Mel Brooks movie. Sit back, strap up, get ready for the ride.
It harkens back to Johnny Dangerously when you see like all the city stuff and then you see the year and the car drives through the numbers.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, that's just sitting in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, the same type of humor, which I love, obviously. If you heard our Johnny Dangerously rant, that was awesome. But yeah,
good.
So you start off with burning the village down. And then you get to Robin overseas, getting captured, and he's sent to the Turkish prison, essentially. And that was just one gag after the next.
Yeah, the jailer that was putting him in was like supposed to be like a concierge or like a front, a maitre d'. That's what it was. He was like, "Hello, I'm here."
Yeah.
He's the host. He's, "Hello, I'm here. I'm here to bring you to your cell. Please, by all means, come in.
Have a seat.
Have a seat."
Yeah.
And that's where we see him with Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if this is pre or after Scientology, Isaac Hayes.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because I thought about that after the fact. I was like, but I never looked it up. So anybody's listening, if you want to go check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isaac Hayes.
I'm sure it's online somewhere. You can find out when he got into Scientology.
Yeah. So again, he's in jail, and
Sorry about
the whole. The whole thing, like, of them getting out of prison.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, now they have strength of feet.
They
They just need a feet of strength. They had strength of feet. So they could push that
Because the two
really
of us-
loose bar
super loose bar,
just right out of the wall.
right out.
2 sets of feet. 4 feet, that's all you
4 feet,
need.
that's all you need.
2 feet, not enough. 4 feet, all good. Push that bar right out. And the chains and all that stuff are all like universally connected. So you pull one, it's like a string on a bath towel or like a blanket. The whole thing unravels. So within 2 seconds, like once they're out, everybody's out.
Everybody's out.
no keys.
Nope.
Nothing breaking the chains. They're just kind of all looped together and all just kind of thrust and throw them off.
Yeah. Then they use them to
hook, basically,
to hook up
grab them up onto the ledge.
up and
on the garage door that is there, the gate that lets them out.
Yep.
I love when the guard comes back. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm in deep shit."
He's like, "I'm in deep shit."
He wouldn't leave. He's like, "This is wonderful news." They're like, "Go." That was really good.
Yeah.
And then, so unlike the original, Kevin Costner movie, Isaac Hayes is, a sneeze, is not the guy that he spends the entire movie with.
Right.
Because it was Morgan Freeman.
And he spends the whole time with him.
But he sends him off. He's like, "Oh, my son, Achu, bless you." No, that's his name.
That's his name.
Achu. He's in England, your country.
Yeah.
England, getting his degree abroad. He's like, hook up with him, find him, make sure he's okay.
Yeah, and then he swims.
He swims
because the tide takes him.
Yeah, he swims gently across the whole ocean. Essentially, all the way around, all the way up to the English Channel, and then boom, lands on the sea, lands on the sand with the big sign that says England.
England, yeah.
Sure, it's like the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
So he's home. He kisses the grass at the sand and then spits it out.
Well, yeah, because I would too if I was eating that much sand. It's a lot of sand.
And he comes upon Achu,
who's
getting his ass kicked.
He get his ass kicked by like 6 other people.
Yeah, right. It's the typical, the black guys getting kicked, getting the shit beat out of him by 4 white cops.
He even says, he was like, "Hey man, again, this is right after the Rodney King.
Yep.
Not right after, but it was a couple years after Rodney King, so got to use that."
Yep.
And he was like, "Hey man, anybody got a camera?" And you can hear him. I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot that Dave Chappelle was in this."
Yeah, I did too. I forgot that was Dave Chappelle for a while. Yeah, I know. I totally did. Which is great. You see a young Dave Chappelle in there, which is pretty cool. And so he saves Achu.
Yep.
And they get together.
Well, they only come together and they perform what? Praying Mantis.
That's right.
I was like, holy shit.
That was awesome.
This is how they're going to do this, huh?
And he's like, "You watch my back. Your back just got hit twice."
Yeah, right.
Your back just got punched twice. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And they rent a wreck horse.
Yep.
The big giant Clydesdale. The sign on the back says "Rent a Wreck." And they go and they come upon Robin's castle.
Yes.
His original home. He's home. He's home, which is now being towed away. Did you catch that? The castle is being towed away.
It's
big wheel.
Towed. Yep.
Big wheels on the back. You
vow,
we move.
Yeah. That son of a bitch was wailing out.
That was so...
And that's where we first see Blinken.
Blinken on the can.
Blinken looking at Well, feeling porn.
Feeling porn. Because he's blind, right? So he's got the 3D braille porn on the can.
He was hilarious.
Yes.
He was really good.
He really did a great job.
He was good. Oh, actually, no. Before he shows up to the house, though, or his castle, his old land, he sees the kid running.
Yes.
How's your Home Alone reference?
Oh, my
God.
A wily little white boy. What the hell is that?
Running. Ah!
Hands on his face.
Hit his face, and he was like, at the end that he saves him, he's like, all right, I'm glad you got those bad guys, and now I gotta go,
But that's when he first meets
alone.
But that's when he first meets Sheriff of Rottingham, isn't it? And he come around trying to, because they come around the bend, and that's who's chasing him. Because he dared to.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that was before they see Blinken, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's when he first sees the sheriff.
Yeah, he dared to kill what the king's dare or whatever.
He
dared to kill the king's deer.
Yeah.
So you have Sheriff of Rottingham who just stumbles and stutters.
You're right. It's like words are backwards and upside down. And
played by Roger Rees, who is just hysterical.
He's good. I like him.
Rest in peace, Roger Rees.
Yeah.
I loved him in Cheers.
Yep. Did he play? Did he play in the Drew Carey Show? I'm gonna have to look that one up. Go on, you talk.
Okay, I'll chit chat.
You chit chat.
I'll chit chat it out. So you meet the sheriff. They basically embarrass the shit out of him, right? And then make him and his guys run off. And then they save the white boy, and he runs off screaming, as Macaulay Culkin does. And that's when they head back to Robin's castle, and the tax ambassador basically is hauling the castle away. The castle gets taken. He vows to write his family's name. He meets Blinken. And this is one of my favorite scenes when he's like, Blinken, I'm here. And he runs out. He's like, I could have sworn there was a door there. And he slams right into the statue that has no arms. He's like, oh, Master Robin, back from the crusade. He's like, well, you lost your arms in battle, but you grew a nice set of boobs.
Yeah, right.
Blinken, I'm over here. And so then there goes the whole thing. He's like, what happened to the castle? He's like, oh, they took it away. He's like, I thought it felt a little drafty. And he's basically tried to find out what happened to the family. Oh, yeah, your father got killed and your mother. He's like, goes through the whole list while you're away at the Crusades, right? That the dog ran away, right? The fish. What happened to my fish?
I'm sorry.
Eaten by the cat.
I was thinking about Craig Ferguson.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize.
That's all right. What happened to the goldfish? Eaten by the cat. What happened to the cat? Choked on the goldfish.
Goldfish, yeah.
Oh my God! Just one thing after another. His whole family's dead.
He had nobody except for Blinken, poor guy.
And now it's you.
And now it's you.
Yeah. So they go off together, and they start the whole plot basically, and you meet up with Little John.
Yep.
Oh my God. They meet him at the river, which is just barely a little trickle of water. It's barely a creek.
It's a crick.
It's a crick. There's a little dribble of water going through with this little shit of a bridge that crosses, which you don't actually need.
Well, clearly,
a horse can climb over. But if you had like a wagon or something like that, you don't want to go into that little ditch. So you would need it for that.
Yeah, but even that bridge, you're not going across that bridge with anything.
It was pretty thin.
It was super thick. It barely put one person on it.
Yeah.
And then even the Jew comes in, he was like, wait a minute, why are you going to fight this guy? Look, I'm on one side
of the East Bank, I'm on the West Bank.
Look, I got both my feet there. You don't need this.
It's not that critical. He's like, it's not the point. It's the principle of the thing.
Principle.
It's nice knowing you.
All right.
Then they do the fighting with two staffs. They keep getting broken. Every time they touch, they get broken in half.
Yep.
Drill it all the way down to two hands together, just slap fighting.
And that was kind of funny.
It was funny because then he whacks him in the foot, and Little John falls into the water and starts freaking out that he's going to drown.
He can't swim.
Carrie was just like, what the fuck is happening right now?
He's like, because it's funny too, because again, it rips off of Kevin Costner's Robin Hood, right?
Yes.
Because that part happens.
Yeah, but it's a big ass river.
Right, but here's the thing though: in that big ass river, it was the same thing. And he goes, "Stand up."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Stand up."
Yeah.
And then because I remember that part. And then Little John stands up, and everybody laughs at him.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the same aspect.
Yeah.
It's like just stand up.
But there wasn't quite the crowd around. But yes.
Right.
And then of course we meet. Was it Matthew? Who plays? Is it Matthew Peretta? Who plays
Will Scarlet?
Will Scarlet O'Hara. From Georgia.
That's not my full name, man. My full name is
Georgia. What part of Georgia are you from? South Central?
South Central, yeah.
They fired an arrow straight in my heart. He's deadly with his daggers.
Deadly with his daggers.
Chops him up like a wood chipper. then spins him and puts him back in his holster, which then takes his pants down.
I'm still working on that.
I'm still working on that part. What kind of George are you from? South Central? That was great.
That was good.
He's got his team now. Essentially, he's got his squad, right? Yep. And they go off and they, basically he's meant to take down Little John, right? I mean, Prince John. Who's
played by Richard Lewis.
Yeah.
I like him.
An 80s comedian.
It's so funny, man.
Who I watched it. He had a show at one point.
I know. I was trying to remember what the show was.
I'll look it up. I used to watch his show. I can't remember the name of it, but I used to love his show because it was back in that time. But
it's kind of like it's very reference or retro or very much like.
It always reminded me of the Paul Reiser show with Helen Hunt. Similar to something like that.
Or Seinfeld or something like that. Like that's what I was saying. Like that kind of show.
Show about nothing, almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean? Like that was. But he was one of those guys. I mean, he was around all the time. You know what I mean? Like back in the 80s, you knew who Richard Lewis was.
Well, yeah. I mean, those comedians that were out, it was. Richard Lewis, Gary Shandling, like he was kind of like out around those guys.
Yeah.
As we both look at, right?
Makes for awesome podcasting.
That's all right. People still listen. They're yelling.
They love it. They're yelling the hell out of us. Yes, that's right. Anyway, well, you look it up because I'm not finding it. I can't remember what the hell it was. So I loved his portrayal as Prince John. Like he was such a smarmy, wimp who just, he thought he was tough. He thought he was brave, and any little danger coming, he was hiding. He was running and hiding.
Yeah.
And I love the sight gags with the mole that keeps moving.
The mole sight gag.
I have a mole.
He's like, listen, I don't know if you know this, but was it
your mole? And listen, this is Roger Reese now, like the sheriff.
On the side.
I have a mole. So he's in the bathtub. He's like, all right, everybody blow. And all the guys with the horns that are in the water making a bubble.
I know, right? He's like,
no, not blow. That was really good. And it's boy. So they know Robin's a threat because Robin basically, he shows up to confront Prince John.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it himself, but then eventually everybody else shows up, which is kind of stupid. He had his posse, but like.
Anything But Love?
Yes, that's
Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's the one. That's it. So he shows up and he basically threatens Prince John. He threatens Chef Rottingham. I love that when he challenges him to the duel, and he hits him with the actual armor, the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And he slaps him with the rubber glove, and he whacks him with the heavy metal gauntlet.
Yep.
That was great. That whole scene when all the knights are running in, and Prince John's just like, I hope it's worth all the noise.
Yeah, right.
Very clanky.
Again,
that's where he meets Maid Marian.
That's where he meets Maid Marian, and again, what a smoke show she was.
Oh, Amy Asbeck, yeah. I always had a crush on her from Wings. Oh yeah.
Like I remember after I realized who it was, I was like, oh my god, I remember watching her in like other shows.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But for some reason, I was like, yo, she's a smoke show.
Yeah, she definitely was.
Good for you.
She is.
Atta Pepper John Ritter.
Yeah.
Good for you,
buddy. Absolutely. So
he was knocking down the door, he's knocking something else.
Yep. 100%. So we get the whole scene in the castle. They get out of there with everybody else shows up. The longest fight scene, like this long ass battle with all the guards.
Yeah.
And Blinken just going to town on the pole.
Yeah.
And he whittles it down to almost nothing. It's like speed fight. And he stops for a second. And then he goes back at it.
Right back at it.
He's taking out 13 guards at a time.
Yep.
He's just chopping down a pole, which is awesome. The sight gag references are great.
Wait.
No, that's a wild pig. That's a wild boar.
Yeah. When
Funny. Richard Lewis. Then we meet Latrine.
Now, so wait a minute. Hold on. When do we see Miriam singing in the bathtub?
I think that's later. Wasn't she singing about him?
Well, she was singing about like she was waiting for her love. Like,
yeah.
I can't remember when it was, but I remember watching this going, holy shit, what a direct ripoff of like a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Like
well, she
super
the bird shows up.
Yeah, the bird shows
happy
up.
Little doo-doo.
Yeah, such a like a straight ripoff of like a Disney princess movie.
Megan Kavanaugh. So she played, her maid.
Her maid, yeah. What else was she in?
She's been in a ton of stuff, actually. She was Marla.
So that's what I was waiting
she's
for.
Marla from League of Their Own, which we just did.
Yeah.
She was in Dracula Dead and Loving It as well.
Oh, I think I only saw that like once.
Me too, because it wasn't that good.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Just, nothing against Mel Brooks. It's just, I don't know. And we love Leslie Nielsen. Huge Leslie Nielsen fans. We'll get there next week.
Yep.
But yeah, Marla's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But it's funny though, again, I haven't watched this one in years, so just watched it before we did this. When I saw her, I was like, holy shit, it's Marla.
Yep.
Marla Hooch. Good for you. Atta Peppa.
Yeah, she's good. And she was fun. She was a fun little comic relief in that movie, but she, obviously like meant to be aggravating. Yep. She just kept coming in between them. Yeah, wicked, big time. So yeah, but she did the job and it was great. No ding ding without the ring.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was good. No ding ding without the ring. Hey.
So we get her coming in, and when you see Roger, they go to Prince John goes to meet Latrine. The witch in the tower.
Tracy Ullman.
Played by Tracy Ullman.
She was fucking awesome.
What a great scene, right? She's in there. She's like, he's rapping everything that's going on. And we gotta get rid of this guy. He's gonna fuck everything up for us. And before my brother gets back, I gotta take this guy out. And she's just like, oh, son, could be trouble. So she starts putting together this potion. Eye of Newt, eyeballs of a crocodile.
Yeah.
It just sounds fucking horrific. So she's making like this potion, whatever. And he's like, "What's that? Some kind of potion?" She's like, "No, I'm your cook." And she puts out the omelet with all this shit on it.
All this shit on it. Yeah.
That's an interesting recipe. And he eats it, like puts an eyeball, and he spits it out immediately.
It right back out. Yeah.
So it's an interesting name there, Latrine. How did your family come by? It's like, well, we changed it back in the 4th century. You changed it to Latrine? Yeah, it used to be shithouse. It's a good change. It's a good change. So
he was quick, man. I liked him a lot in this movie.
Yeah, his expressions and his delivery is always, as it was, impeccable. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he has
very, very smart.
Yeah, well, his shtick was that, always stressed out.
Yeah.
He used to do that thing with his hand all the time to his head. Like, that was his thing. He was always stressed out, and, he was the anxiety comic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He
was always on the verge of having a mental breakdown.
Which I'm surprised he hasn't.
He may have. I don't remember actually. Like, nothing. Like, I don't say that flippantly, but I remember something like he was kind of out of the light for a while because some stuff was going on. But that was great. Like, and of course, she's desperately in love with the sheriff. Right? She's got a likeness of him in his boudoir, which is basically one of those cutout, standy, pop-up type things you see in movie theaters. You know what I mean? I had one of those with the Joker from the '89 Batman. Oh. In my bedroom.
That would have scared the shit out of me.
It did a couple of times.
It was right over the corner.
And there's cutouts right there with like the hat and everything. Like,
Jack Nicholson in the corner of my bedroom. I'm just scared the shit out of me.
I'll show it to you. I have a picture. I think I showed you. Did I show you my bedroom picture that time with all my Batman stuff?
You did, but maybe I didn't notice that.
It's there in all its scary, shitty glory. So yeah, I had that. So she got this, and it's got this like normal face on until she's like basically like, I'm gonna get him, like he's gonna be mine, and it turns goes back to like this worried like fuck face.
Yeah. So it was funny because I was like, wait, was that the same face? Like I had to rewind it to play it. I was like, oh,
it's just a cardboard photo cutout.
That's fucking great.
And it changes because he's just so.
Wait, because she was like, all right, I'll do something to get him out of your way, but you have to do something for me. And he was like, all right, I guess I'll do it. And she goes, put in a good word for me. Yeah. And he was like, okay, I don't think that's gonna work, but
really drunk. We'll get him
drunk. Really drunk.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. I was like, oh fuck.
He's got that worried face, and I mean to jump ahead to the end of the movie when he's launched. At one point, she gets him in there, and he's like, he escapes. She's like, oh, almost had him.
Yeah,
so close.
So close. That I mean, at the end, she does end up getting him because she gives him a lifesaver.
Freaking the fuck out, yeah, because she saves his life, right?
Yeah.
Because then he gets stabbed, and then she like.
Well, that's what it was. Is when he was fighting Robin.
Yeah.
He ends up stabbing him.
Yeah.
And she comes in after, and he's dying. So she's got the sword through him, and she goes, "I can give you this to save your life."
Yeah.
But it was a lifesaver, like the candy.
That's right. It was just a lifesaver.
She was like, if you take this, it'll save your life.
It's just like one of those white lightsabers.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? She was like, but you have to be with me forever. And he was like, okay.
All right,
Fine. He takes the lightsaber.
He's like, I changed my mind.
And she's dragging him out. Wait a minute, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking funny though.
I love the scenes when so now we're kind of jumping around a little bit. But when they're all training, they gotta get every able body from around any village, just like a cavalcade of dumb idiots picking their nose and just mouth breathing morons that can get from any town, any village to become basically fighters against the sheriff and his people.
Yep.
And they're sitting there when Achu does the Malcolm X speech.
Yes.
People are rotting. I'm sure it was. Lend me your ear. They'll throw the ears at him. That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But hey, that's maybe leprosy.
You've been had. You've been bamboozled. So he warms them up. He warms up the crowd for him. Really good.
Yep.
And then you get to they're all getting their costumes.
Yeah.
Which is great. So they all have the standard Robin Hood costume.
Yep. They all have the green hat, the egg.
The big egg for their, which is an egg reference, which is great. I think they're still around, but those things were around all the time.
Yeah.
That was huge back in the 80s. That's where they kind of invented the egg.
The egg with the whatever was inside.
It was pantyhose or something like that at the time. So you get them at any my nose starting to get stuff up. Any pharmacy, you could get them anywhere. They're cheap, and they're trying to do the bow and arrow. Everybody's fucking up the shot. Yeah. One just completely bends,
and it bends around them.
Yeah,
and then they do the whole jousting, and Scarlett's like, "Look, I'll show you," and he does it. He knocks the guy out, and the guy's like, "That doesn't look so hard. We can do that." They all go. They all get knocked over by the nothing.
The statues, the standing army. That's just standing. The scarecrows essentially that are sitting on top of fake horses.
No.
Yeah, the depression on their face was hysterical. So when do we meet Mel Brooks, who plays Friar? Their version of Friar
right
Tuck.
after. So you get the training montage, and then you get the moving mole on King Richard's face. Tracy Ullman as Latrine. That right after that's when we see him.
Yes.
And that's when he comes out and he's
with the wine, with the barrels of wine.
With the barrels of wine, the sacrament.
Yeah.
Sacramental wine.
Yeah. And he's talking to the horse. He's like, I don't like the way you're walking.
Yeah. He's like,
you must have got a sacramental wine. You're for schnicking.
Yeah, for schnicking. And you know what? That was the first time I've ever heard that word.
Yes.
And since then I've used that so many times.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of lines in here that I've used over the years, and I completely forgot that I got it from this movie.
Yeah.
So that's why, I remember watching, going, "Oh shit, that's right.
This is where that's from.
That's where this is from." Me and my friends, we've used it for years.
Yeah. Lots of memorable lines. Lots of usable lines.
That's when he meets Mel Brooks, and he's a rabbi.
He's like, "Man, can we? We're." He's like, what are you like? Vegalus? He's like, no, just happy.
Yeah. He's a little Vegala?
Just happy. That was great. And he's like,
No, just Mary. He goes, I'm Robin, and this is my married men. He goes, well, Vegalus? He goes, Mary. He was like, oh, okay. And then that's when he gets into the, what do you call it? The circumcision machine.
Well, first he's like, can we get some wine?
Oh.
Right. He's like, no, this is sacramental wine. It's very important. We need to bless. There's a lot of things around here. There's trees. There's birds. There's squirrels. We bless everything until we get for schnicking.
That's it. No, but he says it after he talks about the circumcision machine, though.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because at that point, that's when he's handing out the barrels and stuff.
He's telling everybody why he's there.
Yeah.
He's traveling around doing circumcisions.
Yeah.
And he's got this little circumcision that basically looks like a guillotine.
Yep.
And just put
that's literally what it is.
In there and just nip the tip. And Lincoln's like, question, and then she puts his hand down really quick, grabs his hand.
Well, because at first he was like, is anybody interested? It's really good for the women. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm into that. Like, what is it?
Shows him how it's
done. Then he shows him, he goes, I changed my mind.
Everybody else puts their hand down.
Right.
Question,
and he puts his hand back down.
Grabs his hand and pulls it down really fast.
And then, then you get your sacramental wine, and then everybody's gonna get for schnicking.
Yep.
And then this part cracked me up.
The ladder?
No.
Oh, the ladder's one of my favorites. We'll get there.
We're gonna get there because it's right after this. But when he's talking to the rabbi and he's like, oh,
Rabbi Tuckman.
And he goes, well, you know about Maid Marian. He's like, oh yeah, I know the Marian, and I know her parents. Yeah. They're very good people, the Bagels.
Yeah.
They're good figures. Like, you guys would be great. The Luxleys and the Bagels, fucking Bagel and Lux. And I remember, I was like, oh, that's so fucking funny, because he's the Jewish guy talking about Bagels and Lux.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is
Luxley and Bagel.
Right,
Luxley and Bagel. Each other.
Guys are made for each other. But again, it's that kind of smart, quick humor that Mel Brooks is really, really good at.
Yeah.
And like you said, was at the height of that, right? Because everything else prior to this, you got Spaceballs, you got Blazing Saddles, you got Young Frankenstein, like so good, quick, snappy, good little jokes that if you're not paying attention, you're gonna lose them.
Yeah.
But that's I like his comedy.
But that's okay because it makes it so rewatchable.
Yes.
Right, because you can go back and catch shit you missed the first time, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that kind of movie. I love that kind of comedy. It's rapid fire to a degree where, like, shit, I missed that. All right, I can watch this again and catch references I didn't quite get before. You're like, all right, that makes sense to me.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too. It's like, when you first saw it, you're like, I don't get that. But then you got older and you're like, that's fucking good. Yeah. That's really good. I see that. Yeah, it's like that's a deep cut joke from like 3 movies ago.
Right.
Which he does in this movie. He does that a couple times. I'm like, oh, that's good.
Black Sheriff? Why not?
Why not? Worked in Blazing Saddles.
I
was like, that's awesome.
That's right.
But actually, so you went right to there, because right before that, when Patrick Stewart comes over and he has to kiss the bride, and he makes out with the bride.
Yeah.
And Mel Brooks puts his head and goes, it's good to be the king.
It's good to be the king.
It's a reference to History of the World Part 1.
That's right.
And I was like, and that's that deep cut shit. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you might be tempted to think well, that's going back to the well too much, but it's not.
It's not.
Few and far between.
Yep.
It's not overloaded with referencing just his old movies all the time.
Right.
And it's just well timed and well placed.
Yes.
Right, that worked perfectly.
Yep.
And again, we talked about who would you want to talk to. You got Patrick Stewart, right, who plays the king. I love it because he's not taking himself too seriously. He's in this goofy fucking movie for a few minutes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be Patrick Stewart, the guy in the movie, the whole time. He just comes out to play, the king, and he kind of goofs on it a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's hysterical. He's hysterical.
I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
So we had Sean Connery was the original one in the Kevin Costner movie.
Right.
He played king.
So I guess maybe that's... I would have much rathered him not put on the Sean Connery accent, because that's.
He had his own British.
No. At my ass, he did.
Sure, I don't remember that at all.
No, because I wrote that.
Why would Patrick Stewart need to fake a British accent? He is British.
Right.
Obviously, Sean Connery's not actually British.
Right, he's Scots. So that's what he was doing. He was very, very much.
I remember that. I have to go back again and watch. I just watched it the other day.
I know. Go back and watch the end of it. It's very, very Sean Connery. He's like, it's the way he rolled his R's. He was basically mimicking Sean Connery. And that was one thing I was just like, why would you have to do that?
Yeah, you're Patrick Stewart.
Like,
you have a British accent, just use your British accent.
Use a regular British accent.
They're in England, not in Scotland.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was like...
Which again was kind of one of those
It was probably done on purpose because Sean Connery was the king.
Yeah, well, only because they've made reference and made fun of the Kevin Costner movie, including Carrie always be like, unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with a British accent. Because that was one of the things people bitched about the original Kevin Costner. He doesn't speak with a British accent. They're in England. Like, he's born and bred there.
Yeah.
But no accent whatsoever.
Right.
Which is fine because there's some actors who just shouldn't. John Malkovich is one of them. He should not do accents. He can't. He sucks at it. Rounders. He played the Russian. It was horrible.
Yeah, but the Rounders one, like, everybody that was even in that movie, they were like, yeah, that came out of nowhere. That just came off as we were recording. Like Matt Damon, the early interview, Matt Damon was like, yeah, he came off that accent. I just looked up and I was like, I had no idea what to do.
You told John Malkovich no?
Yeah, and he was like, so I just kind of went with it. But everybody's like, what the fuck was that?
It was horrible. And then Man in the Iron Mask, he didn't even try. They're in France, and he's just like, that's your plan? Like, that's how he sounds. Like, okay, I get it. He's in France, but he's not even trying. Like Gerard Depardieu and all these guys who are, actual French and, got accents natural, and he's just like, that's your plan?
But wait a minute.
Yeah, don't bother because you're not going to sound like them at all.
But wait a minute. If you're going to see The Man in the Iron Mask and you see Jermaine Depardieu or John Malkovich, who's going to bring you there?
Well, John Malkovich.
Okay, well now you know. Well,
him.
now you know why John Malkovich did that part, regardless of the
Yeah, I
accent.
know, but it totally takes you out of the movie. Like, are we in France or are we in Jersey?
Yeah, but hold on, is that the one with
That's with Leo.
Leo's in it too.
That wasn't a spoof. That's like a
that was a real one. Yeah, had the Three Musketeers in it.
Yeah. And you got, what's his name? I have to look it up because I know.
This is another one I haven't seen. I didn't think that was too bad, but
No, it's a decent movie. It's not.
But again, I mean, when you do these period movies that with people that are supposed to have accents, I just either don't do the fucking.
I mean, you have
movie.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Right, clear accent is there. You have Gerard Depardieu and Gabriel Byrne. That's the other one who has a British accent as well. You know what I mean? So you're talking just a long line of British actors. Peter Sarsgaard, British actors who are pulling this off, and they can pull off the French. Obviously, Gerard Depardieu, I believe, he is French.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
pulling
he
it
is.
off. But Gabriel Byrne's from Ireland. Jeremy Irons is also British, I believe. South coast of England. So but John Malkovich is from Illinois. Christopher, Illinois. Yeah, he's from Christopher, Illinois. So he's not pulling off any accent in this movie. It was tough. It was really tough. So I think going back to Men in Tights, I think you're right. He's playing on the fact that Sean Connery, who is not English, is playing the British king, the English king, with a Scottish accent.
Yeah,
it's like fuck it, I'll do it too. Even though I have a British accent, I have a British accent, but I'll fake it and use the Scottish accent just to fuck with everybody.
Yeah, I mean.
I just learned more about the movie. I didn't realize wasn't even paying attention to.
If he's doing a rip on it,
watch it again. You learn more every time.
This is what makes it rewatchable.
Yeah.
So if he's doing a rip on it, then okay, fine. Like I get it, but that kind of took me out. I was like, oh, dude, why would you do that?
Tough, but again, you want
right? Because I want Patrick Stewart. I mean, yeah. But if he's doing the rip on it, then all right.
To me, that's what it seemed like. Now that we just kind of hashed that out,
yeah,
it definitely seems that way to me.
I take that point out. That was pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, he's ripping on the fact that that's really good. I like that they had the Scott guy do the English, try to do the English accent, which didn't work. That's awesome. That makes the movie even deeper for me.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie does. Like, I love just the deep cuts. Yeah, they put the horse and they put the lock on it, the club. This giant fucking club on the horse, and somebody else is like, kick. They put the car alarm on the horse.
So funny.
And they're valeting the horses.
So funny.
Right? For the wedding. I love it.
I mean, the wedding too. Like talking about the wedding, we're
gonna have a hanging or a wedding. Either way, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. That was good.
Yeah. The hangman.
The hangman. What size do you think he was? What is he from?
Oh God, what's his name?
I should have done this earlier, and I didn't look it up.
He is definitely famous. He's been around a lot.
Because I think this was at the tail end of the movie, and I was trying to get my things together to come to class. So I was watching. I was like, I have a feeling like he's been in the who's that?
He's Robert Wrigley.
Okay.
Passed away in '97.
And this movie was in '93.
Yeah, he was born in '31, so he wasn't that old. I mean, he's only like 66. 66 years old when he passes away. Yeah, 65 actually. He hadn't quite made it to his birthday in December. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in Philadelphia, Fire Down Below, oddly enough, with Steven Seagal. Just a bunch of different things. He did a lot of voice work as well. Let's see. Yeah, and Stacy. Oh my God. He was on Coach for a couple episodes. Like he did a bunch of different things. He was on Wings.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, he was he was big strong man on Wings. That's right. The guy who was like basically like a down and out like old TV star, like who played like a superhero, big strong man, and Lowell like just really attached to him, and they just basically took Lowell for like as much money as he could get out of him because he's old and broke and playing like he'd been around for a while.
So he just does a lot of voice.
Just seems to have done a lot of voice work. Yeah, Life Stinks, which is a Mel Brooks thing in '91. He was there. His IMDb is quite extensive actually. This is kind of hard to go. He's one of those guys who did a one-off on everything. Newhart, the Karate Kid cartoon. You know what I mean?
He's a character actor.
He's definitely a character actor. He was on an episode of Night Court, which I don't know if you've seen the new one. It's just not that good.
I have yet to, because I don't want to leave a bad taste.
It kind of does.
Because I like Dan Larroquette. So
yeah, he was in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
John Larroquette, rather.
He was in Beverly Hills Cop 2. He played the mayor. He was the mayor who was Axel's I want to make this donation, and he's like, all right, yeah, we'll he was the tall mayor who got tired of the new captain that was pissing everybody off, and he was firing everybody. He's like, I've had enough about your sort of bullying attitude. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He's one of those guys fucking list is long.
Yeah, I'm looking over there at your
a lot of cartoon phone stuff. Oh, he's an episode of Webster.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. Remember that
All right,
show?
So yeah,
he's been around a long time. He's done a bunch of stuff. So he was funny as hell. The whole wedding scene was just
the whole
great.
wedding scene was
when they all
good.
show up in their the female outfit is your boobs. You look like
no, that was at the wedding.
Oh no,
scene.
that was
the archery.
That was the archery contest.
The archery, yeah, the
That's
archery
right.
fest.
Yeah, and his boobs are off center, he looks like a Picasso.
He's like, he goes, "Come on, Blake, fix your boobs. You look like a Picasso."
Yeah, it's like a bleeding Picasso. The two on one side.
Well, before we do that though, when when Robin's walking through the woods and he looks up and fucking Blinken's up there.
Blinken's sitting on the tree he's on the branch. What the hell are you doing up there?
And I wrote this down. He goes,
guessing. I guess no one's coming. He's like, just get down from there.
What are you doing up there? Guessing. I guess there's no one coming. He's supposed to be keeping watch.
Send the blind guy to be the lookout.
Yeah, that was funny. But no, it was the archery one.
But then when he tries to get down, he's like, get down. And he keeps touching the ladder.
Yeah, that's what
he grabs the ladder back and then just knocks over. He's like, shit. He just falls out of the tree.
Yeah, so that's and then they have after that is when they have the archery contest because they want to because what was it Dirty Ezio.
Yep.
Dirty Ezio is gonna.
He's got a lot of medals.
Yeah. No. That was the archer that had the medals. Dirty Ezio was the one that was going to assassinate him.
He's going to shoot him from the tower, from the window.
But But what window was it?
I don't know.
Ye Folio Dispensary. Also, the Book Depository. JFK. Are you with me here?
No, but okay, I'm with you now.
So JFK was assassinated by
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald from the Book Depository.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is another assassin shooting out of a window, but it was the same name, but it's the folio because that's how they don't have books; they have the roll up papers. So I thought that was really funny that they used that. He's shooting them from a window.
Reference upon reference.
Yeah. And then he loses because he shoots the arrow.
Yeah.
The other guy comes in, splits his arrow. He loses. Everybody's like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah.
Everybody's throwing cabbage and lettuce.
I lost.
I'm
not supposed to lose.
He goes, "Wait a minute!" And when he pulls out the script,
and they pull out the script. Yeah, he gets another shot.
And then they go, "What's?" And everybody's pulling out their scripts. Yeah, he gets another shot.
Yeah. But then he still clips him. He uses the Patriot arrow. Does he still clip him in the back of the leg?
Yeah,
shot goes up and underneath everybody, which causes the audience to do a wave.
To do the wave, yeah.
And then it comes in from blows it away.
Well, it comes in from the behind. Comes in from the back door.
It is Men in Tights, after all.
This is... Damn.
What?
You went there. They just marry.
They're a little Vegas.
They just marry. So, but back to that part, again, very meta, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's a sight gag, but it's still meta. Wait, hold on, time out. I'm not supposed to lose, am I?
Yeah.
So them going to the script was kind of funny. What about the part when actually when he first shoots the arrow and everybody gives him the Arsenio dog pound?
Yeah.
I was like, again, that's pretty good because we're referencing back another show, and and again, that works for us because we know it. Someone watches it now, they may not get it. They're like, I don't understand any of that anymore.
So that's obviously on the questionnaire for the night, right? How relatable is this movie from the mid-90s in 2023.
So maybe the mid-90s, the early 90s.
That's true. I mean, to go back, I think you can do this movie again. Like, I think this movie still holds. I don't think there's anything you have to, like, not do. You know what I mean? I can't see if you remade it. I don't think obviously, other than updating some references, so people would get it today. I don't really see any scenes they'd be like, "No, you can't pull that off."
Yeah, no.
Even the beating scene with Chu with the 4 white cup, that kind of plays today. People still have that fucking struggle.
Yeah,
it still goes on.
Yeah, no,
I think it's still as much of an issue as it was back then.
Yeah,
So
I definitely
that
think
shit still happens. So it's good to point it out. You know.
I know. I think you'd still do this movie today. Absolutely. And again, yeah, maybe you update some references just for today's references. But I mean, I don't even think you have to change that many references.
Not that many, no.
Like, really not. I mean, maybe even the Home Alone one you might still get because that's still known.
Yeah. Would you want to see a remake or a sequel? I mean, you still have Carrie Elways. You still have many of the actors are still around. Not everybody, obviously, but many of the actors are still with us.
I wouldn't want to see a remake. I don't. If the comedy is smart and quick, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel.
Right. I mean, Mel Brooks does it again.
Right. Mel Brooks has got to do it again.
Yeah.
But I say that without watching History of the World Part 2.
Right. Does he still have the same flair?
So you know what? Ask me this question like next week.
Yeah.
And I might have an answer for you. Or maybe a more educated answer for you.
Okay.
As it stands today, though, I would much rather see a sequel to it.
Yeah.
Other than a remake. I don't spoof movies. I don't like remaking.
The man's
spoof.
like what, 96? He was born in 1926.
26?
Yeah.
He's 97?
I mean, just about in June he'll be 97.
In June and he'll be 97.
Yeah.
Good for you, Mel.
Yeah.
Fucking A right,
fucking
doggy.
big bucket of wind for that guy.
Wow.
Big long life.
Yeah,
And a good life.
Yeah. I'd like to see a sequel. I wouldn't mind that. Again, you can. So you leave the first one alone. You make the sequel. Today's reference.
Yeah.
Still keep all the same people. I mean, they're all still here for the most part, right?
Yeah, for much.
So
Other than like Dom DeLuise and a few of them, but yeah, most of them are still with us.
Yeah, but you know what though? But you don't need them to be in it though to make a continuation of the story.
Yeah,
you have your main characters.
You'd have to recast the sheriff if you have him, obviously.
Yeah.
But
it could be like the sheriff's son or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely do a continuation. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Isaac Hayes isn't obviously.
No, but we wouldn't need him anyway, though.
No,
he
necessarily.
Didn't add anything to the movie except for, hey, go find my son.
Yeah, exactly.
So go hook up with my son.
Yeah.
Which really, I mean, again, I like when when they're going to do the wedding, and he's like, all right, we're going to use the new Latin. And it's actually Pig Latin.
Pig Latin,
and
yes.
I was like, oh, this is...
Amene.
Amene. Yep. That was pretty funny. And then that's when it gets pretty much to the end, and I have it saying, why does Patrick Stewart sound like Sean Connery? But we already talked about why he did it. And again, if he does it as a rip, that's fucking great.
Yes.
I love it. That's really funny if it's meant to be a rip, which it probably is.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's who, I think the prison, like the maitre d', was played by Brian George.
Okay.
He plays Raj's father from Big Bang Theory.
Oh.
That's why I knew him. Like, I know this guy. He wasn't in a ton of episodes, but he was in a bunch.
Yeah, no,
even they
yeah.
were doing just the zooming essentially, with like FaceTiming, and then he was like physically there a few times as well.
Yep.
So I'm like, I know this guy. I know, and he's a character actor. He's been around for a long time. He's been in a bunch of stuff. So I was like, I know who this fucking guy is. But yeah.
Oh my God, that's him! Oh my God, that's him!
Yeah,
yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. That's right.
Like, more recently, he's Raj's father.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, when I saw him as Raj's father, I was like, "Holy shit, I know that guy."
Yeah,
he's been in a bunch of
stuff. So yeah, they're doing a spinoff. They're doing another spinoff of that show. I don't know what it's going to be. They haven't announced it, but they said they have something in the works to do another spinoff.
What was this? What was the first spinoff?
Young Sheldon.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
Yeah. Like a prequel, if you will.
Right. I thought that you meant like that they did a spin-off with characters from that.
Yeah, no, I mean other than other than what's his name? He does the voiceover. You know what I mean? Sheldon.
Okay, so I've never seen Young Sheldon. I mean, I know that's a prequel.
Yeah, it's just a prequel. It's him when he was younger and how
Gotcha.
but it's kind of like the Wonder Years. He's narrating his life.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's Jim Parsons doing the
that's
narration.
pretty cool that they did that.
Yeah.
So, but they're gonna do the spin-off.
It sounds like they're doing some kind of a spin-off on it. I don't think it's been fully fleshed out as to what exactly it's going to be. But they said they have something in the works to do a spin-off of the show. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Are you interested enough to watch a spin-off though?
Yes. At least give it a try. I'm a huge Big Bang Theory fan.
I like Big Bang. I find it very, very entertaining.
Yeah, I've watched the series over. I honestly like The Office. My wife and I would watch it because it's on HBO Max, and it's kind of like, yeah.
I might have that. Okay.
So it's one of those shows where we've seen every single episode a number of times, and we have our favorite episodes. And if we're tired and we just want to go to sleep and we need something to play on the TV,
that's what goes on.
If we don't want to watch news radio or something, we put on Big Bang Theory. Yeah. And sometimes we just started the seasons once, Amy's there. Okay. Once the full cast is fleshed out, we kind of skip over something. But it's some of the first season episodes we love. When Laurie Metcalf comes in as Sheldon's mother.
Yep.
And she's just the only one who can kind of handle him and just put him in his place.
It's actually hilarious. When I first saw her, I was like, wait, what the hell?
Yeah, Roseanne.
I go, that's Roseanne's sister, and she's Sheldon's. How is this working?
I know,
but they play it. They play it so well.
Yeah,
and that's
she's
that's
ultra religious Christian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, faith, and he's just not.
And he's not. It's science.
It's all about science. He's, from Texas.
That's. I know that we've kind of gone off to Mel Brooks and we jumped into something else.
It's 50 minutes in. We're okay. We're allowed.
We're allowed now. I love that's another show. It's very quick.
Yes.
And for me, I find that kind of humor very, very entertaining. Granted, I love the slapstick. I love the college raunchy stuff. I do like all that stuff. But I think probably some of my favorite comedy is the quick-witted comedy that you have to pay attention.
A little more sophisticated.
But you gotta be fast with it. And I'm like, oh shit. And I found that there were certain things in Big Bang. Obviously, some things I don't get because that's out of my wheelhouse. Yeah. But there were definitely certain things that I watched and I was like, oh, that was fucking good.
Yeah,
and I like
so many
that.
good, and the runners and the running themes throughout the show.
Yeah.
It was kind of it obviously did amazing in terms of ratings, and he was nominated and won a shit ton of times.
Yeah.
The show won a bunch of times. The other people won different awards for the show. But there was a backlash with people with quote unquote the nerds or the geeks or whatever. They were kind of it was not portraying them in a great light.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I've heard this.
I heard it too, and I've had arguments with but I've had discussions with Marie about this, and it's I don't know. I consider myself a geek, not a nerd, but a geek, right? I love pop culture, I love that kind of stuff. But don't ask me to do a math problem; it's not gonna or a science problem. It's not gonna happen.
Right?
Unless it's a geometry problem or something like that, then I can dazzle you.
Did you just call it geometry?
Geometry. I'm really tired. My nose is stuffed up.
Okay.
So I'm really words ain't a coming as well as the sorry.
Words aren't working.
Sorry, Amy, for the word ain't. She hates that. Don't say that around our son. I ain't gonna say it. Don't worry about it. So
I ain't gonna say it.
Don't worry about it. So let's shoot him some dialect Italian while I'm at it. So I don't know. I guess if you're that intellectual and you're a scientist, I guess I could kind of see it where it would cause people problem. It didn't paint them in the best light.
It really did. At certain times,
stereotypes, things like that, and the popular girl and the whole bit. But at some point, it's just funny. It's funny as shit, and they, I don't think they necessarily take it as serious as other people can kind of take things sometimes.
Yeah,
you're taking it a little too serious.
I don't know, but again, it's not.
I've known a lot of people who were that smart. Yeah, and to me, it's it portrayed them actually very accurately, and it doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them, unlovable people. They're some of my best friends. You know what I mean?
Right, but I think that the people that were offended, they just thought that they were taking the piss out of them. And it's at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to convince people that are offended over something to not be offended by something.
You can be offended if you want to be.
Yeah, it's you know what?
Or you can be not offended if you don't want to be either. Try that once in a while.
You could try to drive that all the way home, but it just at the end of the day, it's look. It was for some people. It wasn't for some people. Some people found it offensive. They didn't watch it. They tried to boycott it.
I'm sure there are people, watching Men in Tights, right? It was, it laid heavy on the Jewish stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And kind of, took the piss out of that a little bit.
Yep.
with the circumcision.
Which he does a lot, though. He does a lot.
Because he's Jewish.
Because he's Jewish, right? He
can, right?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm Jewish. I can rip on the Jewish people. It's fine.
No.
But, and that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. But overall, it's humor. It's comedy.
Right.
And the more serious you take it, the more you're going to find something to be offended at. Or maybe just don't take it that seriously.
Yeah. I mean, look. If I don't like something, and if I want to find offense in it, it's very, very easy to find offense in anything. So, whatever. Look,
I get very much taken offense by, Watto from the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
He's a very stereotypical Italian junk dealer.
Yep.
With a very serious Italian accent.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's whatever. The character
but there
was
are
kind of
people,
goofy. If you're pissy
that's
about
fine.
it, go for it. If you have that kind of time in your day, you might want to check your schedule.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you get that kind of time that you have to be upset by this movie or TV show, which at the end of the day means nothing. It holds no water. It's just a TV show.
Yeah. And if you don't want to watch it, then just don't watch it.
Don't watch it. I don't really think it's influencing people that much as you might think.
Yeah.
You don't think anybody was getting beat up being a nerd because of the Big Bang Theory.
Because of the Big Bang Theory, right.
I mean, they're pretty much running the world now anyway, so they're okay. Yeah. They're good. They're doing all right.
They're doing all right.
They're doing all right, So making more money than I'm making, so that's okay. Yeah. That's all right by me. God bless them, So there it is. What else do we want to talk about for Men in Tights? Any final words? Do you have any final notes?
No.
We have to rate this bad boy.
Yeah, we got to rate this, right? How many arrows?
Yeah, how many chastity belts from Everlast? Call the locksmith.
Call the locksmith. He was like, you're not going to believe this, but
son of a bitch.
It's not working.
Yeah.
Like, what?
She's like, what?
It's like, get this fucking thing off me. Yeah. No, I don't have any last notes.
Tubby, you're going to rust.
You know what? Again, this movie hits. It's rewatchable.
And if you weren't a gym goer, you have no idea why that thing says Everlast.
Yeah. But I mean, this if that was also in the 90s, so like Everlast was on like everything.
Yeah.
They marketed everything. Yes. Great, there was all gym stuff, but it was, I mean, if you put on your TV, you saw Everlast. You saw their logo. So this movie is rewatchable. I'm actually upset with my own self that it took me this long to rewatch it. I find it funny. You can absolutely, it played then, it played today, it'll play tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't cut anything out of it.
No.
Not at all.
No.
I don't remake it just on the I don't remake it just on the basis you leave it alone as is, because that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
I would like to see a continuation of it.
Yeah.
Again, I said that today. Let me go watch History of the World Part 2, and I'll get back to you.
See how Mel Brooks is doing, yeah.
See how he's doing. I mean, hey, at 97 years old, he might be like, I might have one more left in me.
Right.
And that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so that's a question before we jump out.
Okay.
If he's gonna he's got one more in him.
One more in him.
He's got a sequel to make. Forget about a new thing. Mel Brooks, you're coming back for a sequel. Which sequel are you making? Are you doing a Men in Tights? Are you doing a Spaceballs? Are you doing a Young Frankenstein? Are you doing I don't think you can do Blazing Saddles.
No.
We talked about that. I don't think you do a Blazing Saddles remake, but clearly we're not doing Dracula Dead and Loving It because that needs to stay dead because I hated it.
Yeah. I would say, you know what? You do another Spaceballs. And the reason why you do that is because Star Wars it's still going. He could 100% do a spoof on that.
It'll make a billion. It'll make a billion.
Because again, it still stays in line. The Robin Hood Men in Tights, maybe. I
mean, there's been some Robin Hood stuff, but not a lot lately. It hasn't really been a property that's been that high into
I don't think people like it too much anymore.
No,
I mean, the movies are good. I didn't mind them.
Didn't Jared Butler do one?
No, I don't think it was Gerard Butler. I think it was Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, that's the one.
Which I didn't even watch that one.
That's why I didn't remember it, because I forgot. Yeah, I didn't end up seeing it.
I don't.
I think I wanted to see it, just never got a chance to get it.
But I don't even know if that was like so much quote unquote a Robin Hood as much as it was like Robin Hood-esque.
Yeah.
Kind of movie. But again, I could be talking out of my ass. Because I do remember watching the previews, and I was like, "Oh, that looks pretty cool," but I never watched it.
I just never got around to seeing it.
Even though I liked the Robin Hood story, like I liked Kevin Costner's Robin Hood.
Loved Alan Rickman in the original.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Harry Costner. That's
yeah.
Yeah, you go back to Douglas Fairbanks and all those guys doing some of the original stuff.
Errol Flynn?
Was Errol Flynn? Was it Errol Flynn? That was Doug Fairbanks. It was Errol Flynn, right?
Yeah. Early shit.
Some early shit, but yeah, Alan Rickman.
Oh man, as a sheriff, so fucking good.
Fucking give you cut out your eye with a spoon. Why a spoon? Because it's dull. It'll hurt more.
Yeah,
I still use that. I still use that line.
That was a good movie, man.
It was a good movie. Other than the lack of British accent from Kevin Costner, it was good.
Thank God, though. Again, like if he tries to do an English accent, it's gonna come out sounding horrible.
Yeah, it sounds.
It's gonna make you want to hate the movie.
It's gonna sound forced, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you just got to kind of tone it in there and see what as close as you can get without sounding completely like, Jersey Shore. Which is like, again, which is what Malkovich sounded like in Man in the Iron Mask. He sounded a little Jersey Shore, even though he's from Illinois.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sounded a little south side of Chicago or something.
Yeah.
Maybe my friend Andy from Chicago.
Chicago.
That's your plan? Oh, good Lord.
That's your plan?
Oh, it was awful.
What the fuck?
Cringed every time I hear that. Every time I watch that part. Men in Tights, what's your score?
I'm giving it a 4.5.
4.5. I'm with you. 4.5
arrows.
4.5. I want to give it a 5. I'd probably save that for Spaceballs. If I have to go Mel Brooks versus Mel Brooks, I'd probably have to give that to Spaceballs.
If I'm going Mel Brooks. Ooh.
Like if I'm going to give a 5, it's going to be Spaceballs. I think, you know what I mean? Like I'd love it to be like a Blazing Saddles or something like that, but it's not replayable today.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? That's what cut it down for me. You can't do that today.
I'm with you.
It doesn't hold up like in today's world. It would hold up for us because we saw it when it was, big and it was acceptable.
Yeah.
Where are all the white women at? You know what I mean? Like that was kind of acceptable, sort of, kind of, back then. You know what I mean? As far as in comedy anyway.
Yeah.
Not today. So many of that. Obviously, then, the N-word was thrown around a lot in that movie too, which you're definitely not going to do today, thank God. So, that's
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for this one, I'm giving it a 4.5.
I'm with you. 4.5 chastity belts. We're good.
Yeah.
No key.
No key.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah, the key just didn't work.
Yeah.
Locksmith!
Call the locksmith.
Call the locksmith.
Great. Everybody could hear it in the whole town. It was fantastic. All right. There it is. Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Mel Brooks. What a great movie.
That was a good movie, man.
That was fun. That was good to chat with you, Larry.
Nice talking to you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We missed you. How'd that 10-miler go? Tell everybody. Tell everybody what you did.
So if you listen to the Mando episode, I was not on because I was in Orlando running the Run Disney 10-miler, which is basically it's a 10-mile run, and you run through Epcot and Hollywood Studios and come out on the highway and then come back in. It's a hell of a run. I did it last year with the wife. This year it was just me by myself.
Like, how is that 10 miles? Like, did you have to loop it a few times?
No, so what it is you start on Epcot's parking lot.
Yeah.
So you kind of run around the parking lot, then you come into Epcot, you run around halfway through Epcot, come out of Epcot and hit the boardwalk. So like like where the yacht club is. So you run along that, then you run along the water, then you come into Hollywood Studios, you run around Hollywood Studios, come out of Hollywood Studios, then you run then the back half of it. And that actually covers about maybe 5 miles or so, believe it or not, or 4.5. The way that they have it kind of like in and out.
Yeah.
And then you come out and you run along the highway that they have blocked off, and then you come back into Epcot and you finish on the other side of Epcot, and then you run back into the parking lot. It's a fun run, believe it or not. And along the run they have characters. And so you can see there's lines
Disney,
of people.
Right?
It's Disney,
so they're gonna Disney it up for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's pretty badass.
you know, if you want, you go over, you take a picture with a character. You know, people dress up for this race. I saw some wild costumes.
I saw the medal thing you had.
Yeah, the medal's really cool. So
that is really fucking awesome.
Yeah, so what Disney does is, Disney has 4 race weekends a year. And every weekend has a different mileage. So the one that I do is a springtime surprise. So every year it's a different theme. Last year was the first time they did this springtime surprise. Before it used to be the Star Wars weekend, and that's what I wanted to do, but they changed it last year. So this year was this year was Pixar.
Yeah,
so the So the 5K was Cars related. So it was like Lightning McQueen was the medal. The 10K was Monsters. So the medal was like Sully and Mike.
Yeah.
And then the 10 mile that I did, excuse me, was Toy Story. So my medal has Buzz and Woody on it.
That's pretty cool.
So every every race weekend has a different thing. Like they have the Princess theme, which is in February. They do a 5K, 10K, and a half marathon. They have the marathon weekend, which is 4 races. And then you have the option to do all the races, and that's a lot of miles in a week.
That's a lot of run. That's a lot of run.
It's a lot of run. And then they have the Wine and Dine. That's in October. So that's what I did this.
Wine and Dine. That sounds more my speed.
No, it's
still running.
It's still running.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's still running, but it's the theme.
Yeah.
Changes, but so that's what I did. I did the 10-mile. And again, next year I'm looking at to do the whole weekend.
Do the 10 mile. I love it.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was a fun run. It was really fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And,
so is it just a run to run? Is it a run for charity? Like
no, it's just a run to run. I think next year I'll probably do a charity event.
Yeah.
That because I always just wanted to run it just because it was kind of cool to do. So
fucking Disney, yeah.
Yeah, you run through the park.
Shit like that, yeah.
That's that's what I wanted to do, and I finally did it last year.
So it's like before the park opens and all that?
Yeah. So it's at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa, fuck me.
Yeah, well, because here's another thing too, because it's April, but it's 85 degrees, guys.
But it's Florida. It's
so
Orlando.
It's Florida. Yeah. So when you're running at, it gets steamy, and this weekend it actually rained the night before, so it was kind of humid in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's why they need to get people out. At 5. The race starts at 5, and you have your different gates.
Yeah, you gotta get out the hell out of there before the park opens.
So I think like
my sad and clean and do whatever they have to do after the race.
Right. So like my race, I left my corral left at like 5:45. So it was kind of cool. Again, I'm running through Epcot. The lights are off. Yeah. Well, not the lights off, but it's dark. So it's like everything's like lit up. Yeah. So it just looks so cool. It's such a cool experience. I think next year I'm gonna do a charity and see about that.
I love Disney. I can't wait to take my son there. Such a great. I mean, the company's had its up and downs. It has its good parts, its bad parts, like any company. But overall, I love what that company does. I love how they operate. I love their.
I'll tell you what, that they set the bar. Yeah. When you go through their parks, you're like, yeah.
Have you ever read any or listened to any of their books? Like, not the books, but other people write books like Disney Way or Disney University. They're like, it's all different ways. Like people teach how to run a business like Disney.
Oh, wow.
I have a few of them on audiobooks. I've listened to a couple. I have a couple more to listen to. They're pretty badass. Like all the little, tips or tricks or, there was one basically on like Disney University and how it all started and the people who had attended and the whole thing is like from start to finish, from the day you walk in, it's like, it's a magical experience being in Disney University, which is teaching you how to be like a cast member.
Right.
Like how to be a member in the cast somewhere, whether you're in concessions or janitor, it doesn't matter. Like everybody who works there basically goes through Disney University.
I just wish they would pay their people more.
Yeah, they do.
Average pay for a cast member is $35,000.
Yeah,
$36,000. That's nothing.
I mean, it's Florida, so I get it. Like you live in some parts of Florida for a lot cheaper, but
Yeah, they probably make $35,000 a day.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, those prices.
No, they make $35,000 an hour. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Fucking bullshit. The amount of money coming through those parks every day is ridiculous of prices, and they keep going up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got friends who who live down there in different parts of Florida. Like they own karate schools, and it's like they have a little less space than we do, but not by much. And like their rent's like $1,700. I'm like, motherfucker. Price 57. That's the discount.
Yeah, but it's cost of living.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's cost of living, right? Like they're like, we make that. I'm like, oh fuck. You know what I mean? Like, son of a bitch, your rent is that, but it's almost the same space.
I know.
It's bullshit. You know what I mean? But we're in Massachusetts, so it's different. So 35,000 doesn't go nearly as far up here as it does down there. So.
No, not at all.
Well, there it is. All right, welcome back, Larry. Congratulations again on the race.
Thank you.
We are going to do the Mandalorian final episode not this week. Even though the episode airs this week.
Yeah, we'll do it
just
next week.
time-wise, we have a shit ton of stuff coming up at the school this weekend. So we're going to do it next week. So don't look for it this Friday. Look for it next Friday. We'll do a final recap on episode 8 and probably just a discussion on the entire series so far and what we're looking forward to coming up with Ahsoka and all the other stuff that's coming up. So, all right. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
And we miss you, Bruno and Mila.
Oh, Bruno and Mila.
We'll catch you hopefully for our last of our final April Fool's episode, which we plan on doing the Naked Gun and the Naked Gun series, essentially. So look for that next week as well. All right. Look for us online at entertainmentrants.com. Feel free to leave us a review. Let us know what you thought of Men in Tights and our episode tonight. And we will see you on the flip side, everybody. What are we going to do, Larry?
Let's rant. Hashtag let's rant.